get ready for the rains. Well, today we want to look at the state of the nation. We're going to look at democracy. We want to look at killings here and there. We want to look at people defecting for their reasons, one reason or the other. Definitely, people would defect for a particular reason. We want to look at it and look at our democracy. Looking at where we're coming from, you could say democracy is based on a notion that one will lead itself, and also we have a representatives that the electorate, the citizenry will ask questions. Their action and inactions will be questioned, and that's basically what democracy is all about. But we're going to look at it with what is happening and getting towards 2019 elections. Loads of things are happening. People are defecting, and some people defected and came back again, while some others are staying put. And the military army also, they are not sleeping. Recently we heard what happened. Some of the killers gangs were apprehended. They were actually stopped when they wanted to attack. And we're also going to look at the ruling party, what they've said they are doing right now, how this defection is not affecting them. So it's going to be loads of events at once. This weekend we're putting you on the spot this morning. We just don't want people to call and criticize. You can critique a situation. You can prefer a solution. It's very important that we begin to look at how after 59 years we are already grown, and we're going to look at how we can actually move to another level, not actually taking us backwards. Well, this and more we'll do in today's edition of the program, but don't forget that we're going to take some of the stories, one or two stories, and the headlines in the papers this morning. Once again, good morning to you. And we'll go on this break. Coming in is the newspaper review segment. We'll be right back. Welcome back. It's the newspaper review segment, and today we want to start with the Vanguard newspaper this morning. The first story here says impeachment threat shadows plans to reconvene NAS, and we will have this story here. The ruling All Progressive Congress APC and the opposition People's Party, the PDP, boycotts by the influence of the big wings politicians into its ranks this week, were at each other's throat last night over fear that moves were afoot to impeach the current leadership of the National Assembly. While APC lawmakers cited outstanding legislative proposal, their PDP counterpart alleged ulterior motives in the agitation, even as some of them shielded the presidency for laxity in the implementation of all of this. Well, Blessed, looking at this impeachment threat, the president said they wanted them to come back to session, but they are already on break, yes, resets right now. Do you think there will be challenge? Right now, they want to remove the Senate president.
Yeah, the Senate president, President Bukola Saraki. Well, with what is going on right now, it will not determine on the part of the senators. They will be the one to determine if truly they want to come back, and if the interest of this nation is first and a priority to them, they should be willing to come back and look at issues surrounding national governance and national development. And if the president really wants to look at how they can tackle the insecurity issues, the defections in the country, they should see how they can bring the aggrieved members together, even without them sitting at the hallowed chambers to sort out the defection issues.
Okay, I'm going to read some of these writers when we talk about defection. They say there are issues pending for NAS to reconvene That's the APC lawmakers saying there are issues pending, so we need to reconvene. But from the PDP lawmakers, they are saying there's nothing urgent to warrant reconvene. What is urgent? From the PDP also here, APC should be careful not to truncate democracy. From Ahmed Rajis and San says Saraki hasn't violated any law by defecting. So in our constitution, there's no law that he violated anything. So he's free to defect and that. But we still have this one here, quick lock. A Papa corridor of Lagos-Ibadan rail project begins next week, says the federal government. We have this, death penalty unacceptable. Catholic Church declares that death penalty is not acceptable.
Yeah.
Well, from Imo, we know what is happening in Imo right now. From Imo, Madumere, the ex-deputy governor's security personnel, withdrawn. That's the latest.
I'm wondering why you should have to withdraw the security personnel attached to the deputy governor of a state. In spite of what has happened, he's still entitled to some security personnel based on his caliber, and if his life is truly placed on premium, they wouldn't have gone as far as withdrawing his security personnel.
Okay, we have this, and it says Saraki becomes national leader of PDP. Thanks party for accepting returnee. Very interesting. And this says from the president himself, defections, God will contribute. Okay, sorry, I take that again. God will continue to fish out bad eggs amongst us. That's coming from the president.
If the president, with what you just said now, it goes a long way to say that the president is actually calling those who are defecting from the All Progressive Congress, the APC, to the PDP as bad eggs in the party. So we'll see how more of those eggs still need to be fished out. That means more of those members of the APC who are still willing to defect or are yet to defect might still be regarded as bad eggs.
Nigeria is getting more interesting by the day.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we have this from Okorocha. It says with 22 states, we have 22 states, 53 senators, no more defections from APC. He's not seeing anybody defecting from APC.
Let's watch out sides, please.
Okay, from Shoinka, it says there's cheapening of lives under Buhari's government. Shoinka.
It's all good.
Okay, that's all we'll take from the Vanguard. We'll move away from the Vanguard and to take some stories in the Punch this morning.
All right, starting with the Punch newspaper this morning. I'm talking a lot of stories here. We'll start with the major headlines, which reads, defections. God will continue to fish out bad eggs among us. And that's coming from the president himself, President Muhammadu Buhari. Details of that on page 2. And the rider reads, President vacation ploy to remove Saraki Ekweremadu. And that's coming from the PDP. Autumn shouldn't be crucified for defecting. Professor Wole Soyinka is speaking out there. Serap gives NYSC 7 days to provide information on Adeosun. Page 11 has the story. FG spent 49 billion naira to field papers in 2 years. And that's coming from the presidency. I'll quickly take this interesting story here. FG set to increase NYSC members' allowance, and that's coming from the DG. The federal government has begun on an onward review of the 19,800 naira monthly allowance known as Alawi paid to members of the National Youth Service Corps. According to the Director General of the scheme, Brigadier General Sulaiman Kazuri. The DG stated this on Thursday, noting that the NYSC, through the Ministry of Youth and Sports Development, received a letter from the presidency which confirmed that the process to review the allowance of corps members had started. Kazuri, who disclosed this while inspecting the NYSC orientation camp in Abuja, said the presidency also sent a copy of the letter to the Ministry of Finance for further consideration. We really do not have a detail about the exact amount they will be, as in the
but I think it's good that I think it's good they review it. If you look at what is happening, the NYSC person, a male or female worker still is already employed in a company. Okay. And so if you're using them like that, although they are learning, You know, they are still on the training, but they go to work early. They have the time they resume just like any other workers. They have the time they close. So if you say the economy is this way and you're not also helping them, because they would do their transportation for that, they eat from there, they take care of themselves, buy some little things from them for that same Malawi.
Now, if I have to put you on the spot now, how much do you think it's worth upping the amount to?
Maybe 50,000 naira.
For real?
Yes.
Interesting. All right, moving on the Punch newspaper this morning. Osun lecturers begin strike today over 16-month unpaid salaries. Page 4 and 5 has the details of that story. NGO founder, this is quite disheartening, allegedly sodomized two twin sons in Lagos. And another story reads here, I killed my boss because he didn't pay my wages, and that's coming from a suspect. You'll find that on page 4. That's
wicked.
That's wicked.
When you kill, because some people do all of those.
Yeah.
They backstabbed people. You cause all sorts of pains to people. You kill because of wages. You can't create. But it's easy for you to, that is just terrible. I don't know how to describe, I don't know how to describe what is really terrible.
All right, yeah, Ekiti workers issue strike threats to Fayoshe. Page 12 has the story. Wresting power from Buhari will be tough. And that's coming from Galadima. Page 9 has the story. All these and more you can find on the Punch newspaper this morning.
Okay, before we move away to the next paper, away from the Punch this morning, we'll go on a break. And when we come back, we take the New Telegraph. We'll be right back.
Superdawn, your daily live current affairs program where topical issues that border on politics, economy, sport, and sizzling national issues are analyzed, now holds every Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Superscreen television. Let your voice be heard. Join us.
Welcome back. We'll still continue with our newspaper review segment, and we take this one, the New Telegraph. God will chase away criminals, bad eggs from APC. Buhari, and the writer says, Oshomole, defectors afraid they will rot in prison. We have this from Otom. I left APC poorer. Saraki saying, I offer myself in defense of democracy. And we have this from Shoyinka. Nobody should be crucified for defection. Well, still in the New Telegraph this morning, state's domestic debt hits 11.08 trillion in 5 years. And the writer says, Lagos, Delta Rivers, Edo, Kaduna, most indebted state. Yobe, Sokoto, Anambra, least indebted state. Also in the papers, 22 die as canoe capsized in Sokoto. Finally, Bode George, how Ajumobi, Otudike, and also reconciled Tinubu and I. That's all we'll take from the New Telegraph. And moving away, we take some of the stories in the Daily Trust.
All right, now starting off with the Daily Trust newspaper this morning, the major headlines here read, 2019 elections set to be Nigerians' most expensive. Page 5 has that story. Tambuwal, Kwankwaso, Saraki gets nudes to contest PDP ticket. Details on page 13 on the Daily Trust newspaper this morning. Obasanjo part of Nigerians' problem, and that's coming from Professor Wole Soyinka and human rights lawyer Femi Falana. Page 4 has that story, and still on the Daily Trust newspaper this morning. Defection, Oshibajo meets Akpabio at Villa. Page 14 has that story. We are not looking at quick fixes for infrastructure, and that's coming from the federal government. Page 10 has the story. And also finally, on the Daily Trust newspaper this morning, internet fraud, CBN developed new security framework. Page 17 has details of that story. All this and more you can find when you get yourself a copy of the Daily Trust newspaper this morning.
Yes, that's all we can take from the newspaper review segment. Up next, we want to look at the state of the nation. Nigeria is passing through a very interesting time right now where lots of things are happening after 59 years. And you expect that the valiant officers of this project called Nigeria, I call it project because it's a project indeed. If you're building your house, you lay the foundation. From the foundation, you want to see it get to the lintel level. Then you build the house. Then you roof the house. It's a project that you have. No, in 1999, we saw the start of this project. And where are we right now is the question that is running through a lot of minds, because people expect, or they are expecting, that we'll be almost concluding this project, or if we, or have concluded this project. But up till date, we are still struggling. And now we want to look at where we are at, the state of the nation. We're going to look at security. We're going to be looking at democracy itself and our leaders, managers. We say they are managers leading us, and also the electorate, the citizenry. Are we the cause of what is happening? Do we understand democracy? Do we push people to do what they are not supposed to do ordinarily? These are more we're going to be discussing on the program today. And I must state here that please, we do not want you to call in and insult anybody. We must be objective. We must begin to tell ourselves the truth. It's not about discrediting people. It's about preferring solutions that will drive a nation like ours. We'll go on this break now, and when we come back, we have a guest seated. We'll be right back. Welcome back. We're looking at the state of the nation. We're going to look at security. We'll look at democracy, especially now that the election is just around the corner. We want to look at our democracy process, looking at where we started from. If we say we started from 1960, and you look at what is happening today, in 1999, we got something we could call, we're close to restructuring that process. And today, we might not be able to say we have a firm hold of democracy, but we want to look at the state of the nation, look at what is happening. Since last week, we saw defection took place like never before. We saw where governors are saying, I can no longer cope. We saw the security agencies, you know, aborting purported killings. We saw in this side of the country where Nigerians are saying they're not comfortable with the economy, and some other quarters are saying it will take time. So we're going to look at where we are today. We look at impeachment process, what happened when they were trying to impeach a sitting governor without due process. We're going to look at all of that and look at this administration, what they are trying to do. In the studios this morning, we have Barrister Darlington Agomo. He's a public analyst commentator. Good morning to you, Barrister Darlington.
Good morning, Vera, and good morning, viewers. It's a pleasure.
Yes, looking at where we're starting from, let's just say where we begin to restructure in 1999, the process we call democracy, and looking at where we are today in this annual dispensation of democracy, especially where people are not feeling it. Do you think there's something wrong in putting a firm shape to democracy?
Thank you very much. In everything you do, the foundation and the vision is important. The vision for Nigeria cannot be defined as of today. Nobody can say, this is the Nigerian dream. This is the Nigerian vision. Something that is a given in the US, where we copy this democracy. You heard of the American dream. Let me give you a typical example. After the Civil War in US, when the Confederates won independence for America from Britain, there was no money to pay the soldiers. The soldiers were so angry, they surrounded the parliament, they wanted to sack the parliament, you know, and then install George Washington as an absolute monarch in US. They now went to call George Washington from his farm and say, look, this is what we want to do. We want you to take over, and your own monarchy will be second to God. In fact, they would have created the most powerful monarchy. That was the intention of the soldiers. George Washington looked at all the soldiers and said, look, I did not win independence because of this. I didn't win independence because I want to sack the Parliament of America. With that statement, the man turned back and went back to his farm. The soldier dispersed. And today, the rest is history. What I'm saying here is that we don't have visionary leaders. It is, I don't know whether it is a curse. Seriously. Each time we come close to making something out of our life, something will happen. And it has been like that. Check. Imagine if we have started building this democracy from 1999, when there was, you know, some people managed to wrest power from the military. By now, we would have gone far. But at every point in time, selfish interests will come in.
Now, Barrister, let me quickly ask you this, based on what you just said.
Yes.
About we lacking visionary leaders. Now,
yes.
I want us to go back down memory lane, looking at history now.
Yes.
Where did we get it wrong? at the initial state of our democracy?
We got it wrong when we allowed selfish leaders to mount the throne. That was where we got it wrong.
With the likes of, who would you want to mention?
I mean, it's obvious. I mean, we can't start mentioning names here. It's obvious. Leaders who are not for the country, but for their own selfish interests and political survival. Just look at what is going on now. Imagine if things were right. If APC have given us the change they promise us. For God's sake, will there be any need for anybody to even defect or move to another place? You and I know it's not possible.
Is it about a party this time around, or the people? I will allow you to talk. Is it about the party or the people? Because despite our violent efforts of the political managers of this country, we've had issues. Could it be, are we not setting our lights to even the people, the electorate, our citizens? Are they the ones making it a bit difficult for people to achieve their goals?
You see, my dear, it's time we stop blaming the people. Nigerian people, they have tried. We don't have their kind anywhere in the world. Look at what happened in June 12th. Nigerian people voted for a real Nigeria. Is that not true? Nigerian people voted for a country that they can call their own. They didn't mind. The election was free and fair. People went out and voted without no intimidation, no harassment. What happened at the end of the day? Was that done by Nigerians? It was done by one single man for his what? Selfish interests. And that is why I think about leadership.
Maybe you didn't get me.
A leader would have taken...
Barrister, well, maybe you didn't get me.
Yeah.
When I'm not saying Nigerian people are not patient people, they're not patient enough. What I'm saying is, if you notice what happens, you put your brother there, and your brother is in a particular position. Most times you hear that we begin to demand, because it's my brother, he has to buy me a house, he has to build me a car, he has to build a house, he has to buy me a car, he has to give me money because it's my brother there. Is it about your brother being there or achieving a goal that will help the citizenry?
It is the same thing about leader. That means the right person is not there. If the right person is there, he will not mind about brother or sister. He will do the Nigerian business. That was why he was elected. The Nigerian business. As a matter of fact, the Nigerian business can only be done if you have Nigerian institutions.
Now, Barrister, I'd like to quote you based on what you just said. Now, focusing on leadership now, you made mention that the problem of the country is not necessarily about the people, but the leaders.
Leadership.
And you also agree with me that these leaders are part of the people. Yeah. And these leaders did not come from any other country, but from within us here. So where did the electorate get it wrong with the kind of leaders that are leading us today?
You see, you cannot manufacture a leader outside leadership. You and I know that. The leader will always come from the people, quite all right. It is the same way God selected Moses out of the people. It has always been like that. God equally selected Peter to lead the apostles, Jesus Christ, when he was going. So there will always be leadership from the people. The important thing is for you to select the best among the people. They are there. You cannot tell me that Nigerians are lacking good leaders. No, we have them in large numbers. We have them in large numbers. But because of tribal leanings, tribal sentiments, we don't always recognize this leader because they are not ready to do what they are being forced to do. That is just the reality. We have leaders who meant well for this country, who want to do things the right way. But to bring that leader out today, they begin to ask you, is it from the south, southwest, southeast, south? Then they now begin to look at the family. Who was his father? All those things will come into play. And that is why this entity called Nigeria, that is why people are calling for restructuring. So that if leadership is coming from your region, you can identify with him. you now know that, yes, this man is from us. Look at what happened during the First Republic, when there was a sort of regional government. Look at Southwest. If Awolowo were to be at the center, like we have today, he wouldn't have done what he did in the Southwest. They wouldn't have allowed him to bring television to Southwest before France. Can you beat that? That Southwest established a TV house before France. That was leadership. So when you make government concise, make government in units, it will be easy for you to manage. It will be easy for you to identify with your leader.
So you say we should go back to zones?
That is why we are calling for restructure. Anybody that loves Nigeria have been saying, restructure this country. We are not saying we are going to separate. It's not possible to separate. But rather restructure so that this entity can be managed like other countries. This Singapore we are mentioning every day, Singapore is just 6 million people. 6 million, not up to Ikeja. And you can see what they have done with their lives. 6 million people. That's why we are saying that the way the structure is, it is not going to give us any development. It's not possible. That is just the only thing that is holding us down. Anybody that does not want to go, then is an enemy of Nigeria. It's as simple as that.
But some quarters have called out saying that restructuring will not favor the country. And then again, some other quarters are saying that restructuring is the best and the best way to go. Now, looking at the challenges in Nigeria now, how best can we go about restructuring Nigeria to ensure that our democracy is intact and the country interest is being protected?
There is no way the country's interest will not be protected. We copied this democracy from somewhere, US, where the federal system is working perfectly. The people in America, they are human beings like us. They are not more intelligent than us. You and I know that. Americans are not more intelligent than Nigerians. So, if it is working there, why can't it work here? That's the question. Federal system is working in America, where we copied our own democracy. So, why can't we copy that which is working for them, so that Nigeria can move forward? California is the 5th largest economy in the whole world, and it is a state in US. Why is this so? Because federal system is working. That section of America is developing its potentials within America. That is what we are saying. Did you hear that California want to become a government? No. Unlock the potential within your region. For example, now, under the exclusive list, the federal government is controlling 68 items. 68. While Concord is 38. Look at that. Is it not too big for one man to manage?
Barrister, I'm going to hold you on there. There's a caller here, Dapo Williams. Good morning to you.
We can hear you.
About security and democracy.
Yeah.
But I can tell you that our democracy is doing threatened under this administration. You can see what was reported that a large number of police were moved to a state House of Assembly. That is to carry out an impeachment process. You can see what happened in Gateway. And what was also reported that maybe members of the APC in the state wanted to carry out an impeachment process and they were going to use the police. You can see this kind of thing happening under this administration. The Lord told me yesterday that I'm afraid. And I can tell you that in 2019, what you will see will be greater than what we are seeing now.
I hope not.
I don't pray that happens, but I must tell you, and that's leading to my question to Barrister Darlington.
Yes, you see, that the caller has even gone ahead of us. You know, we are coming gradually. We are building up. But he has gone ahead of us. It boils down to leadership.
Okay.
Imagine if the leadership of this country have said, look, whatever happened under PDP must not happen under me. Election must be free and fair. Police, army, if you see anybody near the polling booth with anything resembling money, arrest him. If the ruling government is not buying votes, how can they allow the opposition to buy votes? You got what I'm saying now? Yeah. That is how to show leadership.
Okay, Barrister, you've talked about leadership. You mentioned leadership.
Yes.
Leadership. We saw in the former President Goodluck Jonathan's administration where Boko Haram almost took over government, and effort to stop them was a bit difficult. And moving into this administration, we're seeing where they also started with the Fulani headers, killings crisis amongst their communities and the rest. Do you think both the former administration and this administration, the cause of all what is happening is leadership also? Have they both failed us? Is that what you're saying? But before you answer that question, we have Uche. Uche, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you.
Yeah, I like the discussion that I made this morning.
Thank you.
But everything I want to say about that. The problem that we are having now that we don't problem is corruption. If Nigeria can do corruption, it will work well. And if Nigeria can do that, okay, I'm not from Yoruba, I'm from Hausa, then because my body is Hausa, we can help people achieve what I want. That will help us.
Thank you so much for your contribution.
Now, you said something
Uche
about...
said corruption.
Yes. You said,
that's the main thing.
Yeah, you said something about security under the former administration. We were in this country when Goodluck Jonathan wanted to exterminate Boko Haram. It's on record.
Wanted to?
Yes. He did everything. He
tried to.
He did everything. In fact, he would have done that. Listen, so that whenever you want to crucify a man, allow him to say his piece. Jonathan constituted 3 panels, different panels, to examine the grievances of Boko Haram. They refused. He called them to the table like Niger Delta militants were called to the table by Yaradua. They refused. When the man was frustrated...
Barrister, we'll continue with you after this call. Hello, good morning.
Morning.
Good morning to you.
Oh. Hello.
I don't know if your phone is on speaker.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, yeah.
Can you take it off speaker so we can hear you
from
clearly?
the speaker.
Great, you can go ahead.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
But the issue with Nigeria is a very big problem that no man can solve.
Somebody will solve it.
If we Nigeria are maintaining the presidency, again to the immunity. People are working in front of offices, councillors, presidency, and commissioners. They pray for them immunity. They cannot any grant one in office. No one checks them. So that's what is problem. Again, when Obama was in the nation, that he made 75, and what's about that civil war, now you have money in such a way. He goes and
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your contribution. Yes.
You see, we are saying something. I will come to him because that issue of security is important, and I want Nigerians to examine what I'm going to say, and you now tell me whether Jonathan was a hero or a villain. This man did everything to stop Boko Haram. When he realized that he was being sabotaged, he had to deploy Ihe Jirika, general who was retired. It was Ihe Jirika that chased Boko Haram into Sambisa Forest. It was under him that we started hearing Sambisa Forest. He was chasing them bumper to bumper. And when he was about to give them the final push, what happened? All the leaders in the north, led by Governor Nyako then, started writing memo to the United Nations, ICC, America, US, that Jonathan wanted to exterminate the north, that he was doing ethnic cleansing. The noise became so much, and Jonathan, being a humane and democratic man, had to even withdraw Ihe Jirika and retire him back. Immediately, these people came back ferociously. If you are a patient, you are having problem, and the doctor said, look, I have the cure for you. You said, no, don't touch me. I don't want to be cured. The doctor said, look, I will do this thing. Give me a chance. He said, no, don't touch me. I don't want to be cured. Will the doctor force himself on you? The answer is no. Leave that apart. Do you want to tell me that today, the entire northern region, they don't know how to stop the insurgency in that area? Is that what you are telling me? How did the Southeast proscribe Nnamdi Kanu and IPOB even before the army came in? The entire Southeast governors, they told Nnamdi Kanu, go and sit down. We are not interested in what you are doing. They went home. Niger Delta elders called their boys to order. They went home. So why is it festering in the north? You can see.
So are you in one way or the other insinuating that the northern elders and on those
they are comfortable with what is going on? If not, they would have found solution. If not, why did they leave their house that is on fire and they are looking for political power?
All right, we'll take this call after Austin. Hello, good morning.
Augustine, good morning to you. Augustine, good morning to you. Yes.
I wonder. Yes. Yes. I'm telling you. That's the reality. Oh, so.
Okay, thank you so much.
So
yes, but looking at it, you asked him a question.
Yes.
I asked if, with what is going on in the country now, that the northern elders and the northerners are calm and cool and they're okay with what is going on in the country.
I have just told you that if they are not comfortable, why did they leave their house that is on fire and they are pursuing politics? Don't you see the frenzy? The frenzy of activities to grab political power.
But we should expect that.
I would have expected them to say, look, for us to move forward, we must stop all these killings. It's mainly in the north now. You and I know, northeast, there is nothing going on there as of today, northeast.
But they are moving ahead. You see that they are moving away from the north, even entering north central.
That's what I'm telling. That's what I'm telling you now. If you are deserting your ancestral home to somewhere else, does that make you a better human being?
No, I'm talking about those killers. I'm talking about those killings. The headsmen. Because if you look at, they've entered Ekiti State before, they've entered Delta State before. So they are moving away. If it's about the northern people, we just say is in the north, the leaders are not doing what they should do.
Maybe you are trying to be economical.
I am not. I'm telling you, no, I'm not economical. Barrister, let me finish. Let me get this caller and I'll come back to you, because we have to be fair in our analysis. But we have David first. I'll come back to you. David, good morning. Yes.
But to come out boldly with our government and call those people terrorists, they cannot call them.
Yeah.
So what are we living ourselves?
I wonder.
The government is not behaving. Our leaders are all.
So what can we do? What can we do to solve this? We need solutions.
You see?
Let him finish. What can we do, David? Okay, Barrister, let me come back to that.
Yes.
It's not being economical with the truth. It's saying it and also prefer a solution. If we say, good luck, Jonathan, let me finish. I allowed you to talk.
Okay.
If you say, good luck, Jonathan, during his time, he tried. But the question is, did he eradicate or did he stop them finally? Then these same people moved away because it's a country. If we keep saying it's in the north and we should close our eyes to it, it will spread someday. Yes. And we all will be affected. So we need to stop that spread. If we say, okay, it's the northern leaders, they should handle it, well, we might be deceiving ourselves, because these people they are migrating. No. They are spreading. And so Jonathan tried, he couldn't get it done. And now we are having the same. In this month, in July, last month, say June 3rd last month, we saw where Fulani herders killed, suspected Fulani herders, killed 7 in Benue State. And they were said to have injured, say, 6 of them, 6 people also. These are innocent people that have been killed. And so this is ravaging, is affecting our nation as a country. So we must look at moving away from sentiment and look at the reality. How can we stop these killings? How can we stop this idea of you are from the northern part, you are from the southern part? How can we come together to stop this menace ravaging our society? That's what we should be looking at.
The question is, who allowed this thing to fester?
But it's already there. How do we move ahead?
Good. How to move ahead is simple. Leadership. Committed leadership. As far as I'm concerned, the leadership of this country today have not seen this as a problem. It's just lip service they are paying to this problem. That is why they have been able to move from where they were before to other parts of the country. If not, a leader that has foresight should have been proactive. Let me contain these people here. If I allow them to move out, it may be difficult for me to manage them. Let me contain them. But you saw all manner of excuses we are giving. When these things were happening gradually, we are shouting. The leadership kept quiet. Initially, it was Boko Haram, and they were almost being contained until Fulani herdsmen showed up. Is that not true? So, under whose regime did the Fulani herdsmen become more deadly than Boko Haram? Under whose regime? That is leadership. So why should you be sentimental in matters of security?
Hold on there, please, Barrister. We have Francis. Francis, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning, people.
Good morning.
To you.
I support to what my gentleman is saying. Total leadership. In the leadership, because if you look at the time, by the time the President Buhari took over the government of this nation, the fact that I can as well assume that our president is weakening. It's very, very weak. In taking decisions, it's very, very weak. Because if you look at the first 6 months of his government, it took him nearly 3 months to select his minister. It took him nearly 6 months to give us a stable budget. If you look at it from the beginning, the whole that has been showing that this government will fail. If you look at the security system, what is the president doing on the borders? What is the president doing on the borders, especially because by the time you look at all these issues, it is the borders. Where are these ammunition coming from?
Yeah, in Mexico, you're right.
But look at Nigeria. Nigeria is not beating anyone. They are not stopping all these borders. Ammunitions are coming every day. I believe President Buhari is a weakness. He doesn't know anything.
Okay, Francis, what do you want us? What do you want this leadership? What do you want our leaders to do right now? We need solutions.
I want Biden to close down all the borders.
Okay.
Where are these people taking this ammunition to? I believe there is a source where these ammunition are coming into the country. They must close this border. You must let these people know that this is not how it's being done in our country.
Okay, thank you so much, Francis. Thank you so much for your contributions.
You see, each time I hear people say that Buhari, because he's old, he's a weakling, I beg to differ. I don't agree. If the attitude of the president on security matters has been uniform and consistent, I will say, okay, that is his character. But it is not. This same president deployed armaments, military armaments, to the southeast to stop Nnamdi Kanu. This same president deployed military armament against the Shiites, and over 300 were slaughtered. Because of what? They were protesting and blocking the road. Is that not true? This same president have refused to obey court order in the case of Dasuki and El Zazaki. So, how can anybody come out and tell me now that he does? It is when you have a mindset, your actions and utterances are driven by that mindset. That is just the truth. He has a mindset. He knows what he's doing. He's going somewhere.
Now let's look at the leadership style of this administration. And what area would you want to fault this leadership, this administration leadership style, and what would you think are the best solutions out of it? The greatest undoing of Buhari is nepotism. You cannot manage a country like Nigeria with nepotism. It's not possible. Is it not under him that this restructuring became so right? Because people have seen what he's doing. That is just the truth. Nepotism. In fact, he had made it a state policy.
Okay, I'm going to hold you on there. We'll come back to you. We have Felix. Felix, good morning to you, Felix.
Hello, good morning.
Felix, good morning to you, Felix. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm happy to connect to you this morning for telling the program that's going on.
Okay.
Yeah, according to what this man is saying, I know all what he's saying is true. Concerning the Nigerian leader today, we all challenge Nigeria facing now. We support our leaders nowadays. But I believe that before all these issues are solved, is let our leader make a correction for that. Because of every time killing means that which part of Nigeria. So what is part of the country? Sorry. So what, you know, according to what your minister is saying,
Darlington.
so all what you say is right. The problem we are facing, the challenges we are facing now is from all the leaders, is our leaders. What I know about him, they don't like their friends. They don't like Nigeria. Don't take Nigeria. They don't like their friends. So there's no way, whatever you do, whatever. So there's no way what you do can solve, because any leader nowadays, any leader, they don't like their Nigeria, they don't like everyone. I don't know how to put it. I'm sorry, because I was very upset because of this.
Okay, what do you think we need to do? What do you think?
X-Man that we have X-Man to operate. But by then, for today, nothing happened again because of the leader needed to pay. Applying an expansion. But in other states, all the things are still continuing. They are still continuing. So which is they are not capable to handle the issue. So that's what I mean.
Okay, Felix, Felix, how can we solve this? We need to cut you off now, but okay, Felix, how can we solve this? We need solutions. What are your solutions?
Now, what solutions are you preferring to the challenges on ground?
I think he has.
What are the solutions you're preferring to the challenges on ground?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for calling. Yes,
now,
go ahead. You
solution. Listen very well. That is why we call lead. That is why we are hammering on leadership. In Ghana, these same herdsmen reared their ugly head there. What happened? The president of Ghana came out and drew a line. Say, you must not cross this line. He gave the IG of Ghana police, he gave him direct order. Even the court in Ghana ruled, and there was a direct order. 24 hours, these people disappeared from Ghana. Look around you, the whole of West African states. Is there any place that Fulani herdsmen are committing the atrocities they are committing in Nigeria? Mention the place. Look around you. Don't we have leaders there? That is what we are telling you here. Okay, you have said the challenge is... Yes, leader. You are the one encouraging this thing, so don't pretend about it. Okay, now the leaders are... Your blame is on the leaders. We're having the election... I'm giving you examples now. Primaries, we have party primaries coming for presidential and national assembly. They are coming, that's August 18th. We also have primaries from governorship and the state elections. It's also coming, and that's October 17th. So these are the things that will be happening soon in our nation. Now you're blaming leaders. Are we not the same people electing the same persons and still complaining? Is it not about selecting who you want to be? Who you want there? Do not be deceived. I have told you here. In Nigeria, in fact in Africa, look at what happened in Zimbabwe. Elections are never free and fair. In Africa, people don't elect their leaders. Leaders impose themselves on the people. That is what happens in Africa. The 3 elections that have been conducted under this administration, Edo, Ondo, and Ekiti State, look at what happened there. Was that an election? It is now a question of who has more money to pay. Who has more money? Is that what you call leadership? A leadership, an election that was induced. People were induced. And you and I know very well that most people are illiterate. They don't even know the issues on ground. The only person they recognize is the man who can give them money to eat for that day. That is how they have reduced the mentality of the average Nigerian voter. And you cannot blame them. When poverty is biting so hard, what do you expect? So Africa, in short, we don't elect our leaders. They impose themselves on us. All right, Barrister, well said. Now, in rounding off now with the current defection going on from one political party to another political party, and we are still on the issue on leadership now. How do we get in fresh blood into our politics? The only time Nigerian electorates we have the opportunity to elect their leader, it is when the level of literacy is high. You get what I'm saying now? Emphasize more on education, right? I am telling you. This, look, you don't get it. These people, they deliberately want to put you down because they know when you become aware, you are going to challenge them. They will not be able to bribe you. Okay, in wrapping up, I want to give you, in wrapping up, let me tell you. In wrapping up, I want you to advise our leaders and the electorate as well. Yes, let me summarize what I'm saying. Let me summarize what I'm saying. During the First Republic, Awolowo went to Sardauna and said, look, this free education I gave the Southwest, why don't you extend it to your people? It will help them. Awolowo wrote this in one of his books. He said that Sardauna told him that, look, keep your free education to yourself. We don't need it. If we educate all these people, who will serve our children? That was his mentality, which is prevalent there up to today. Tell me. Is that not what he playing out of
wrapping up
today?
this program, can you advise our leaders, the electorate, advise everybody? Let's just hear from you.
Let me tell you, let me tell you now. Anybody that is a leader in this country should be aware. Don't take the people for granted. Remember what happened in Russia, the Russian Revolution. Remember what happened in France, even in America. It is because the people got tired. Even this South Korea that people got tired. We don't want to get to that point. That's why we are shouting now. Because whether you like it or not, something we give one day, and we don't want it. So if you are taking advantage of the people, look at the Arab Spring. Did you ever believe that? Did you believe that Libya will implode?
We need to wrap it up. Thank you so much.
But the people got tired of Gaddafi.
We're going to invite you again so that you can talk more on that. Thank you so much for your contribution on this edition.
Thank you, my dear.
I want to thank Barrister Darlington Agomo, a public affairs analyst and a legal practitioner. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, my dear.
Up next is Superdawn Sports, and we all know what is happening in Nigeria, right in Asaba. We have the African athletics competition going on, and for yesterday, Tobiloba Amusa is making us proud. He got the 100-meter hurdles, and we are proud of him. 100, also 800 meters male was won, and lots of trophies coming in, medals are coming in, and I hope that that competition at least will give us more relief, unlike the World Cup. Well, it's the sports segment.
Some people withdrew, some people went back because we couldn't organize.
Superdawn, your daily live current affairs program where topical issues that border on politics, economy, sport, and sizzling national issues are analyzed, now holds every Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Superscreen television. Let your voice be heard. Join us.
Welcome back. It's sports segment, and lots of things are really happening that is not really pleasant to the ears, where the NFF and the ministers having this issues, crisis here and there. I have Olakule Phillips here. Olakule Phillips, good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning, it's good to be back here.
Good to see you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Good to
Well,
see you
we're having a competition right now, the African Championship right now in Delta State. But let's look at what the crisis we're having, the NFF, the ministers, Giwa having his own to do, everything happening. Is this healthy for our sports?
Absolutely. I think that's one of the things that we, as stakeholders, are telling the aggrieved bodies that they really need to come down, they really need to come to the round table and look for a lasting solution to all of this, because our sports will suffer if eventually we get the hammer by FIFA. FIFA has the statutes, and anyone who is going to be a part of the FIFA association must be ready to adhere to all of that. In the case of Nigeria, we're having a lot of issues, and the FIFA president, Infantino, came out some couple of weeks ago to say he only recognizes Pinnick as the president of the Nigerian Football Federation. He does not recognize another president. And matters that has to do with Nigeria football in general must be taken to the court of arbitration for sports, not the normal legal courts that we have in the all over the world. But these guys have taken all this matter to the normal court instead of the court of arbitration. And FIFA is not happy about that. Giwa is actually it seems to be getting all the favors, all the advantages from the court, and FIFA saying they are not in agreement with all of that. And if eventually Giwa is installed, then we might be getting FIFA ban.
If we have a leadership problem like this, won't it affect players? If we are not working together where we're supposed to work together to make sure things works, and this is happening, won't it affect? I'm going to allow you continue with that.
Absolutely.
It's so sad, but I'm proud of the female adults where Tobiloba and Musa made us proud there.
Absolutely.
I'm proud. I'm a female. I'm proud.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll allow Olakule continue while I'll be behind the camera. I'll be with you shortly.
Et n'est plus concurrent
All right, good morning. Welcome to another edition, the Friday edition of Superdawn Sports, right here on Super Screen Television. My name is Olagunle Philip. So much happening in the world of sport. The athletics, senior athletic championship still ongoing in Asaba. The Nigerian contingent not seems to be doing badly as we are getting to win some medals. And of course, as you know, we have our correspondents out there today. Probably in about 2-3 minutes time, they will be we'll be joining them live to give us all the updates as regards what is going on out there in Delta State, Stephen Keshi Stadium precisely. And also, the Broha are still rocking Nigerian football, despite the fact that the ministry told them, the Nigerian Football Federation, not to go on with their extraordinary congress in Delta State. The Amaji Pinnick-led board actually, they held that particular congress, and they have a lot of things to actually tell the aggrieved bodies. And also, we have the community shield to actually prepare everybody ahead of the new season of the EPL to take place on Sunday, and it's going to be between the heavyweights, talking about Chelsea and Manchester City. We also have some news for you from the international scene. Some Arsenal player, a particular Arsenal player, is actually talking about leaving the club. All this and more we get to enjoy on to this morning's edition of the Superdawn Sports. Once again, my name is Olakunle Philip, and I've got Usman joining me on the show. Mona Usman, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah.
Always a pleasure being on Super Screen.
It's good to see you after a very long time.
Thank you, sir.
All right, let's start with the NFF Extraordinary Congress. The Sport Ministry, some couple of days ago, came out to warn them against them having this particular Congress because, according to the ministry, they said the matter is still in court as regards who leads the Nigerian Football Federation between the aggrieved bodies. Amaji Pinnick, who is recognized by the Federation International, the Football Association, and Chris Giwa. But the gentlemen actually held the Congress in Delta State, and they have said they've told all the aggrieved bodies to actually come together, that they are ready to actually do some things to actually favor some of them if they can take the matters off court. And of course, they come to the round table and they talk about a lasting solution to all of the crisis rocking Nigerian football. Mona, what do you have to say to all of this? It seems not to be ending.
It's actually what makes someone like me lose interest in Nigerian sports.
You cannot afford to lose interest in Nigerian sports.
I'm serious now, because I'm not proud to say this on screen, but I'll say it. When you have issues rocking the Nigerian sports like this, you know something good can come out of this. That's the truth of the matter. Settle amicably, sport is a unifying game. So what do? Let's make it unifying. Let's bring the unity out of it, not badly taking it to court, this and that. If Pinnick is on the forefront, let him be so. Whoever is behind should assist and support. We need help. Even the under 17 needs help right now. We should focus more on progressing our game. What are we actually good for in Nigeria in terms of sports? We should focus more on growing the team, not on badly here and there. Chris Giwa, you do not Giwa FC. I think personal interest is attached here. It's not just...
no, there were, when the crisis was unending, Giwa FC actually got relegated in 2016. According to the NFF, the league statute, it actually stipulates that they broke a lot of rules, conducts, and they had points being deducted from them. But as we speak, Giwa FC has been readmitted into the Nigerian National League. What do you have to say to that?
It's great. It's great. It's okay. They've served the punishment for misbehavior. Just like in this Italian Serie A, Juventus also had the same issues, and they came back. It's okay for them. I know they're a great club. I've seen a couple of games from them, and they are good. They have good players too. So it's good to be back. Or
do you think this will actually calm, Chris Giwa down? Do you think with the readmission of hold on, we have our man Prince Will Obieza joining us live on Superdawn Sports. Good morning, Prince Will. Good morning, Prince Will. Yeah, hello. Good morning, Prince Will. Hello, Prince Will. Hello, Prince Will Obieza. I think we lost that call. I'm sure you will get to reach us in in a matter of minutes. All right, let's move away from that, and of course, let's talk about this particular one. Not really good, I tell you. The national under-17 team, talking about the Golden Eaglets, the chief coach, Manu Garba, has expressed his displeasure about the fact that the team isn't giving the needed attention. Their match allowances hasn't been paid, and other allowances that is due to be paid to them hasn't been paid, and the players are in a very deplorable state with malaria, and of course the MRI test, which has been endorsed by the NFF, hasn't been carried out yet. Muna, with just about a month to the start, to the game, the under-17 team will be playing the qualifier. This is really sad and disheartening. The
reason why I think they should settle their court issue on time and then focus on what we have on ground. These boys have not been paid, and it might affect their turnout, their performance in the forthcoming under-17 games. So it's high time we look into this and make sure that everything is being settled. Allowances, so they will not be carried away psychologically off pitch. It's high time we do something about it. It's not really a nice one at all. For Nigerian international team, it's not a good one at all.
All right, it's not a nice one at all. Remember that just some couple of weeks ago, the sport minister actually traveled to see the under-17, under-20 women's team in Austria, and of course they extended olive branch to them, gave them some goodies, and then the girls became very, very happy. We hope that the NFF will swing into action. This is really sad, and that's just as Muna said, this is what happens when the house is not in order. Prince Will Ovieja, it's good to have you back. Hello, Prince Will. Prince Will Oviesan. Hello, Prince Will, good morning. Oh, I think the line is really bad. We hope to get to talk to Prince Will before, we call it a day on Superdawn Sport. Let's talk about the African Athletic Championship ongoing as we speak, and that's exactly what Prince Will actually wants to talk about. Prince Will Ovieja, hello. Oh, I think the network seems to be very, very bad. Well, yesterday we had Tobiloba Amusan actually winning the 100 meters hurdles gold medal, and that was indeed a very, very good one for the country, Nigeria. This young lady has actually been doing it. Remember the last time out at the Commonwealth Games, she also did well in the All-African Games. She also did very well, and she looks like the best as far as the 100 meters is concerned on the African continent. Also yesterday, we saw Jemal Yima from Ethiopia also winning the gold medal in 10,000 meters, and that was indeed a very, very good one. Everything has actually been going on fine according to our correspondents there, Prince Will Ovieja, Dr. Agubiade, and of course Lamido Onka. They said everything after, at the start it was looking like, things weren't going to work, looking at all the issues the organizer had, but everything is back in order, and also the men were able to do their accreditation with ease. We hope Prince will still call back so that we can get all the reports and updates from Asaba 2018. Well, Muna, Coach Lenny, the Arsenal. All right. Yeah, Prince Will, it's good to have you back. Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Yes, go ahead, Prince Will. How are you doing this morning? right, Prince Will. Okay. Hello, Prince. All right, Prince Will. All right. All right, Prince Will. Okay. All right, Prince Will, thank you very much for all those updates, and we hope that probably before the day runs out, Team Nigeria should be able to win more medals. This is the much we'll be taking as far as Superdawn sport is concerned. I really want to thank you, Mona Usman, for deeming it fit to be a part of the show.
Always a pleasure, sir.
All right, we'll go on this short break, and when I come back, Vera will be joining me on the show. Stay tuned. Welcome back. We saw Kunle, we saw Prince Will called in from Asaba telling us the event as is going on. Yeah, just, you know, there was echo in the telephone chat we had. But of course, some of the things he said was that because of the fact that there are no floodlights at the Stephen Keshi Stadium, some of the games will have to be it has been postponed because, you know, some of the games need floodlights, you know, to actually hold. But unfortunately, the floodlight issue hasn't been resolved. And as also some of the things he also said is the fact that Nigeria has just 1 gold medal, 1 silver medal, and 2 bronze medals. The South African contingents are actually leading the pack as we speak. And today we're going to be having some events like the wrestling, boxing. So still this, I think. He spoke about gymnastics or something. I didn't really get that very well. I remember it's just athletics. We're going to be having boxing and all of that. but we're still happy. We're still hoping that we come up with something today. Yeah, not absolutely. Allowing South Africa come to Nigeria to take all. Yeah, he said with some of the events. I know by the time we'll be having the 100 meters for male and female, we have some top players being ranked. But we also have a player. I mean, an athlete, Aure from Côte d'Ivoire. She's very good, but we have an athlete that can actually give her a very good run for her money. Okay, well, we'll continue with that again on Monday, and hopefully they will be here to tell us more what happened, the event, and the medals that Nigerians will have had
I hope so.
Yeah,
I hope so at the end of today.
Yeah, I'm very, very sure that in the 100 meters for male and female, 200 meters, 400 meters as well, we should be able to get a lot of medals from there.
Thank you so much for coming on this segment of the program, Olakunle Phillips. Yeah. Well, we'll go on this break. When we come back, we'll be wrapping up Superdawn for today. Welcome back. Blessed, we need to wrap up quickly right now for the weekend.
Yeah, it's actually been a wonderful program today, starting off from Monday up through to today being Friday, and today's edition was really, really interesting. We had a lot of callers calling to express their own opinion on the issue on ground, the state of the nation, and our leadership, which is a very pivotal to the development of a nation, needs to be looked into critically. And I do hope that these current administrations will have to look inwards to see how they can fine-tune their leadership style to ensure that everyone in Nigeria do not feel marginalized and also lose hope in the country. It's the weekend starting off today, and I sure know that certainly I'll be here tomorrow. You know also the
we don't
sleep. We always work. I'm blessed of wonders. Many thanks for joining us on Superdawn this morning. Let's do it again, God willing, Monday.
Well, it's a weekend, and we want to thank all of you for watching from Monday through Friday. We want to thank Precious is not here. We want to say thank you to Precious. Anthony isn't here. Thank you so much. The Annie and Nanaba, thank you for me. We want to thank all of you. Peculiar, thank you so much. Mary, thank you so much. KG, Amani, KG, thank you so much for being part of it. And I want to thank you, Casted. The person knows himself. Thank you so much. James, thank you so much for being part of this program. Ayop, I want to thank Princess for being part of it, all the crew, and thank you so much, but most especially to our viewers out there for watching. This weekend is another one, and Super Screen. I usually say this on a Friday. We are ready to make your weekend a bomb. Please don't miss out of this. I am Vera Osoko. We'll see you on Monday.